Hello everyone, and thanks for stopping by to Scrap and Craft with Terry. Today I'm going to do another envelope project, a little bit different than what I've done in the past. I thought it looked pretty interesting. I saw this on another YouTube channel, and her channel name is Vicki. So I don't know if you've seen any of her videos yet or not, but this looked pretty interesting. She had a few different things on there that she did with envelopes. So along as I go, I think I'd like to try them. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If you like my video, I just ask that you give me a thumbs up and check out my other ones. Now, these envelopes that I'm using, I think for this project should have been just a little bit smaller. She didn't say what size her envelopes were, but so this would probably be like could do it just as a folio to go into your, well, just a standalone folio. I think this would have to be a standalone because it's so big and it's bigger than what my faux page is, unless you have a big journal, because the envelopes that I'm using are 6 3/8 wide and 4 1/2 this way up and down, and you need four envelopes. So I would just say measure your envelopes and then go by that for your paper, because you have to have a piece of paper to go in the center of it. Now, the way I figured this out as to what I needed for my center paper was, you take your envelope and you have to measure it. It has to fit. Your envelope has to fit the paper on all 4 sides. And this took me a little while. I got it all done, and I cut my paper, and I cut it to fit one way, but I didn't cut it to fit the other way. So you just, when it's all said and done, your envelopes fit together. Into a square. So you have 4 fold outs. So that's how I figured how big to make my center square, because when it's all folded out, and I don't know if you can see all of it or not, but when it's all folded out, that's what it looks like. Let me see if I can pull this up just a little bit. Pull this up. So it's folded up like that, so you'll get the gist. And then these would fold in and up. It's kind of hard to keep them together when they're not glued. And then on the back, this is what it would look like, because you would be folding your flap to the back of your paper. And then when you get all done, if it's not going to be glued into your journal, you can just put a piece of paper on the back, okay? And that would cover that up. Took me a little while to figure this all out. So if I would do this again, I think I would do envelopes that's about half this size. So before we go on with that, I got a new paper pad finally. I got this from Walmart. It's by Ruby, maybe, or Roby. It's called Sunny Days. There's 50 sheets in it. A lot of flowers, stuff like that. I thought it was like really pretty. Love this one. Some of them all almost look fall-y, like this one, and fall is my favorite. But the rest of them are, you know, nice and springy. And I think it cost about $5. So you can't beat that for scrapbook paper. It's single-sided, but it doesn't really matter. Single-sided is mainly what I've been using anyway. So I thought it was really cute. This is another one that looks like fall. So I thought for this project we would try, I like this, we would try this paper and see how it does. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with this, but first she said when you have to cover your envelopes, what you should do is take an envelope apart. You have this part here, you have all of this here. All you do is cut them apart. So you would cut that off, and then the part that goes in here, you can cut that out, and then that would slide right down in there. So your piece of paper would slide down in there. And then if you have to cover your flaps, do one for the inside and one for the outside. And then I also, she said also, you know, make one for this, then you don't have to think about it, but all you have to do is just measure that and cut that out. So that's what I did. I cut, except for the flap, because you're not covering the flap on this project. So that's what I did. I made my pattern. So hopefully, I don't know, just hopefully, I can make this come out right. So what I'm going to do is put glue on this flap, and then I'm going to stick my paper on it. And I think I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. I lightly inked around my envelopes and my pieces. I wasn't going to, but the papers that I'm putting in the pockets were already inked, so it didn't look right. And now you're going to put this paper, yeah, you're going to put this paper on this way. Now just don't go over your fold mark. And I especially wanted my fold on my envelope to be highlighted so I could see it. So then I decided, I guess I better just ink all of it to make it look matching. So I would say, if when you do it, to do the ones that are across from each other. I don't know if it really matters. Have any of you made these before? I thought it looked pretty interesting. Now what she called it was, let me see. She called it an exploding envelope. I'm just going to call it, what am I calling it? An envelope pocket fold out. That's what it looks like so far. And we can turn it sideways. See, when I first did this and I would fold my envelopes over, they would come out perfect because I didn't measure it right. So they're supposed to be, it's supposed to be like this where you have extra. I think it's a really cute idea, so I might have to get some smaller envelopes and try a small one. Just make sure that your fold is all right. Okay. So now I'm going to have this going sideways, I think. So my sides will go in, my bottom will go up, and my top will come down. But that's not how I want it to fold. No, I want the bottom to go up. This almost looks a little cockeyed. My top to come down. This is how I want it. So this is going to be my front panel. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do my inside papers. Now, all I did with these was just barely inked. Well, actually on this one, all you have to do, and you don't have to ink anything on this. I think this would be very pretty if it was done in, let me see, the craft envelopes. I think it would really be pretty if it was done in craft envelopes. So all I did was just barely inked around these. I have the rest of them inked. Now you can ink as much or as little. I thought about doing a different color, but like I say, the papers that I'm putting in these pockets were already done, so I just matched my ink to it. Okay, so we can fold this down and move this up. Now, of course, you know, the envelopes might not necessarily be the same size per se. So I think along the bottom here I want to cut this just a little tiny bit, just to trim it. Because I want a little bit of a border anyway. Doesn't have to be a big border, but I want a little border. Probably should have put my little inside piece in first. Now this will slide right down in here. And I thought about doing the matching papers in here, but it didn't look right, so I didn't. So I thought I would alternate the designs or the patterns, whatever you might want to call it. So I'm going to open this and slide this in here. And when you don't have glue on it, you don't have an issue. As soon as you put glue on it, you have a problem. At least anyways, I do. There. And if you get some up there, just wipe it off. And then it folds up just nice. So there we have one pocket. Let me see. And we have, look at that, we have another bee. So I'm going to put the bees on the side with the flowers in. And that's how we're going to do the side ones. And then these are just going to match like this and like this. And I'm going to glue them in and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got them all glued in. As soon as I shut the camera off, these things went in just perfect. Not a problem at all. So this would fold up, this would fold down and over and over. Okay. Now we're going to put our panels on the front. And I'm going to make sure my papers are going in the right direction. Okay, these are the sides. So we're going to start with this one down here. These are directional, so I have to have these going in the right direction. So and I also barely just inked around these. Now wait a minute. So when this is folded up, yes, this is the way I want it. I mine had it upside down. that's my bottom one. And then my top one has to go the same way. So let me fold this down, it'll be easier. So you just have to watch if your paper is directional. I actually wanted these on the two side panels, and I cut the paper the wrong way. So they got chosen for the top and bottom. So now on the side, I'm going to have these two. Now I cut these so my my blue strip lined up with each other, because I thought it looked better like that than having my strips be off. I didn't like it like that. So I'm going to glue this one on first. So just fold this over here. Once you get everything cut out, unless you cut everything as you go. A lot of people cut everything as they go, but once you get everything cut out, get everything ready, then I don't really think it would be a long project. I think it would go pretty fast. So let's fold this back over. And this goes this way. So when I put that on there, I have it this way so I can line it up. How many of you cut your stuff as you go? I've tried it in the past and it takes me so much longer. I mean, when you're sitting and cutting stuff out, and if you're inking it, see, I never used to ink, but if you're doing that and you're figuring out everything you need and where it goes, that takes a little while. So it's not like it doesn't take any time, because it does. All right, so this folds up, but to sit and do it as I go, that takes way too much longer than I need it to be. And this goes this way, and this is going to go over this way. So this is going to be my front cover. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on the back now so I don't forget. And I didn't ink this, and that's all right. I don't need to. I think I'm going to cut this little tiny sliver off. Okay. Now I have a little tiny piece glued on the bottom of this because I run out of a piece big enough. Right there is my piece that I glued on. So I just had to add a little piece to it. And it blends right in. So that's a good thing. See, so the back of it's covered. So if you don't glue it in, then you just have it to hold. And then you could just put all kinds of papers in here. Journaling papers. So these were all just prints. So I'm using these as journaling papers. And let me see, I'll tell you what size these are. It is about 6 1/8 by 4 1/2, and they're all cut about the same. So that'll just slide down in there, and I rounded my corners. I thought this one was pretty. They look like they look like invoices. And then I thought these were pretty. These have just a little bit of writing and that on them. So we'll just stick these down in here. The colors maybe don't all go with it, but your tags don't always have to completely match. But sticking with the, I like to use some of my scraps. I made tags. So to go in with the journaling papers, I have tags to match. Okay, and these are about 4 3/8 by 2 5/8. Now this white cardstock was just leftover pieces. So figured I would do 2 for each pocket. And then let me see. So these are just little journal cards. So I didn't make them in a tag shape. I just rounded the corners. Okay, so I can take this out of the way. So we have this flip up, this flip down, this flip over, and this flip over. So now on the front, I just cut another piece of the white cardstock and a piece of this paper for the background. And then I had got these little dimensional sticker things at the Dollar Tree, like, oh geez, a few years ago. It says, cherish every moment, love every moment, embrace every possibility. So I thought I would put that on the front, and I put the dimensional tabs on the back so this could stick over, and then I'm going to have a piece of Velcro out here. So I just want to bring this out close to the edge. I thought about putting some ribbon on it maybe, or something like that as a closure, but I didn't want to take the time to figure that out. So we'll do Velcro. So I just want to kind of make sure that I don't go over too far. And I just want it down here in the center somewhere. Hopefully it's straight now. I think it is. And then up here in the corner, I also had this hello. Hopefully it goes good with it. I thought I would put that up there. And it's layered. It's made to look a little dimensional. So we're just going to stick that right on there. So then let me get my Velcro. And I'm going to put it out here. So maybe about in the center of it. Sorry, maybe about in the center of it. Fold it over, press it down, and there we go. So what do you think? It is kind of big. I'll say it's kind of big. But you have quite a bit of journaling space in there, and I'm sure in them envelopes you can add more paper, more tags. So we just open this up, and then we can pull our tags out. Journal. Fold it out. And then in the center here, now, to tell you the truth, I didn't even think about the center, but you could have another pocket. You could have a notepad in here. I think that would be a good idea, to have a notepad in here, and then you can write on, and you can take that off to put in your pockets. I think if I made another one of these, I would keep that in mind. Put a notepad in here. But you can put pictures or anything in here. Doesn't have to just be journal cards. You could put your pictures in the envelopes. Anything like that. So let me know down in the comments what you think. And I hope you come back to see me for my next video. And until then, everyone, have a wonderful day and happy crafting. Bye for now.